Today we keep the centenary of St. John Paul II. On this day, the 18th of May 1920, Karol Wojtyła was born in southern Poland, a little town called Katowice. His parents were devoted to each other, and he had a happy childhood, full of love certainly, but also a childhood marked by pain and suffering. His little sister died when he was a boy, his mother when he was 9, and then later on his older brother Mundek, whom he looked up to greatly, a doctor. Mundek caught an infection from a patient and died. So there was just Karol and his father left. Then the Nazi occupation of his beloved Poland took place, and afterwards the Soviets moved in. So the Poles referred to the Second World War as the war they lost twice. In order to avoid deportation, he got a job in a local factory and salt mine, and he discovered that God was calling him to the priesthood. And so he gave his whole heart to it and joined a clandestine seminary, studying while he was still working with his co-workers in the factory and in the salt mine. And there were times, in actual fact, when they would allow him to study in the corner while they did some of his work, as he had to meet deadlines for exams and so forth. And in his reading, and in his solitude, and in his study, he saw that the key to understanding the world and life itself was in the Christian story, and specifically in the person of Jesus Christ. But he also said that he learned more in the school of life than he did from his books, important and all as they were, but in those experiences of meeting Christ in his childhood and in his life as a young man, meeting Christ in the events of life, in the people around him. It was there that he saw the hand of God. He was ordained. He became a bishop, then cardinal, and then on that great day in 1978, becoming Pope John Paul II, touching the lives of millions of people. You and I, we too, are loved by God. Our lives also are being guided by the hand of providence. We too have a purpose and a meaning, a vocation. So let us give our hearts to it. Let us find in our lives that the key to understanding the world and life itself is in the person of Jesus Christ. Just recently, I heard a story of a young man who did the Camino to Santiago in Spain, and he discovered at the end of it a real sense of joy which he did not have before. For him, joy spelt Jesus, others, and you. And he was full of enthusiasm and spirit to bring that joy back to his friends and family. We too are called to be ministers of joy, joy which comes from knowing and serving the Lord Jesus. And may we ask St. John Paul to seek Christ, to find him, to love him, and to serve him and others in joy.